Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. So forgive the outside noise, but I'm using a different microphone this time. Regarding this Cleopatra movie, let me state this for the record. Jada Pinkett-Smith is apparently, she's either the director or the producer, one of the two, maybe both. It's her movie, it's her baby. That tells you something right there. Now, if you believe that some of the Western black women are out to get us, you can believe it about Jada Pinkett-Smith, and I'll tell you why. Cleopatra, evidenced by her name itself, was actually Greek. She was from the Ptolemaic dynasty. The Greeks, when they ruled, had a policy of not learning the Egyptian language and not marrying the Egyptians. Now, other Greeks that lived in Egypt probably could have married Egyptian women, but those of the ruling family from the line of Ptolemy, one of Alexander the Macedonian's generals, did not marry. All we know is she was Greek, but I think the identity of her mother's not known anyway. Nonetheless, would we know she was Greek? She learned the Egyptian language, and she was the first to do so. To depict her as black actually was problematic. I don't agree with the Egyptians. I agree with history. The Egyptians have a problem with it because, yes, the Egyptians have a problem with being considered black, even when they don't hate black people. As a matter of fact, most Arab men who I know that want to marry a black woman are Egyptians, but nonetheless, there's something in them that disdains that. They don't like to be considered black. Their little kids would just take for granted. No challenge, nothing. They just take it for granted that straighter hair is better than curlier hair. That's how Egyptian kids feel. Where do they get that attitude from? Now, Nefertari and Nefertiti were black. Jada Pinkett-Smith had to jump over them and a whole other bunch of lady pharaohs or pharaohs' wives to arrive at Cleopatra. Now, Paul Mooney was a comedian. He's saying Cleopatra was black too. Yeah, well, Paul Mooney, I know he meant well, but he was a comedian. He was not a historian. Cleopatra was Greek. Nefertiti was black. Nefertari was black. The others were black. Jada Pinkett-Smith is not a historian either, but she made a historical movie, called it a docudrama, and did this. I think she did this as a distraction. I think she was in on it. There was a conspiracy, and she was in on it because I no longer believe in just it's just a coincidence. You know, it just happens this way. It just works out this way. No, no more of that. She's an idiot, or she willfully did this. And see, even if she really just so happened to do this, then that makes it even worse. Because what that means is that the invisible enemy that we have, the invisible adversary and antagonist, gave her this idea and she thought it was hers. That's what that means. See, whenever somebody takes the worst idea off of a menu of ideas or travels the worst route out of differing routes one can take, the worst one, come on now. If somebody just so happens to make the best decision they could have made, do we not credit Allah? Well, this is a situation in which she made the worst. So either someone came to her with a plan, she fell for it, they came to her with a plan and she knew and was in on it willingly, or the invisible adversary came to her with the dumbest idea and she went with it. Those are the only three options. Because she could not have picked a worse ruler of Egypt to try to depict as she did. And I'm not saying this because I feel a guck how the modern day Egyptians think, even though they're genetically related to us. Oh yeah, I'm not saying they're identical. I said they're genetically related to us, even though they are our cousins. They don't act like it, so that's not why I fivaguk. I fivaguk because I don't want us being stupid. I don't want us looking stupid or being stupid. Led down the path of stupidity. I don't want either one. And guess what the F happens? Bruh. The absolute worst it can, does. Again and again. And I, for one, am sick of it. I'm not gonna hide, I ain't gonna lie about it. I am effing tired of it. We tend to believe in coincidence a little bit too much. Oh, it just happened that way. No, no, it didn't. Again and again. How many times do things just so happen this way for us? So you get the idea. I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. Y'all understand where this is going. But yeah, ancient Egypt, before the Ptolemaic dynasty, for the most part was ruled by us. And there's actually a long lecture from the Hutchins Center available on YouTube about the Africanity of ancient Egypt. That's the title of it. If you look it up, it'll come up. Maybe I'll put it in the description if I remember, but I just thought I would tell you all about this. Thought I'd make mention of it for you before I forget. Anyway, stay tuned if you want to go and catch part 2 of It's Your Fault B Word. That's on Odyssey already. It'll come up on YouTube later, inshallah. And part 3 is actually already on Odyssey. But it's going to come up much later on YouTube. So if y'all want to get the jump, you got to go to Odyssey. And that's the gist of it. So in any case, thank you so much for listening. And as always, black heart, black mind, black out. Assalamu alaikum, black. Heterosexual, non-select male power because they don't like it in black patriarchy until the extinction of Judgment Day. Thank you again for flying with me on Jet Black Airways, where jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with me till the wings and the wheels fall off. And just because I will probably forget the Cash App button on your way out of the Jet Black aircraft. It's in the description. Gender, justice, forever.